What are the consequences of war? Have you ever thought about what happens when a war breaks out? The consequences of war are vast and can change lives forever. Let's break down some of these impacts, especially from a moral and ethical viewpoint. First, we cannot ignore the immense human suffering that war brings. It leads to the loss of countless lives, both of soldiers and innocent civilians. Communities are destroyed, and people are forced to leave their homes. The physical injuries and psychological scars left on survivors are profound. Civilians often endure the most pain, facing death, injury, and loss of basic needs. This suffering raises tough moral questions about whether war can ever be justified and what limits should exist on violence. Next, we see a troubling phenomenon called moral disengagement. During war, people often suspend their usual moral beliefs. They may use euphemisms to describe violent actions or convince themselves that harming others is necessary for a greater good. This shift can lead to serious violations of human rights and atrocities. It challenges our moral identity and can make it easier for individuals to commit acts they would normally find unacceptable. War also damages our understanding of morality and trust within societies. Victims often grapple with questions like, "Why did this happen to me?" This crisis in moral understanding can create a rift between communities, making it harder to heal and reconcile after the conflict. The trauma experienced is not just personal, it affects entire societies and alters how they view themselves and others. Moreover, war presents complex ethical dilemmas. Questions arise about the justification for widespread killing and how to treat both combatants and non-combatants. The principles of just war theory aim to provide guidelines for morally acceptable warfare, but these principles are often debated and imperfect. Fear of punishment can prolong conflicts, leading to even more suffering. Finally, the long-term psychological effects of war can be devastating. Survivors may deal with trauma for years, and the moral lessons learned during conflict can shape future generations. Experiences of war can shift moral values, sometimes leading to a greater acceptance of violence and revenge. Understanding the consequences of war through an ethical lens highlights the importance of careful consideration before engaging in conflict. It calls for adherence to international humanitarian law and strong efforts for reconciliation and justice after the fighting stops. Maintaining moral reflection during conflict is vital to protect our humanity and ethical standards.